Consent and Written Agreements. Module Ethics, Consent, and Professional Standards. One of the most important principles in fine art nude photography is consent. Without clear and informed consent, no photograph should ever be created. Consent is not merely a legal requirement. It is a foundation of trust, respect, and professional integrity. Many beginning photographers focus heavily on cameras, lighting, and editing techniques, yet overlook the importance of clear agreements. In reality, a well-planned conversation about consent can be just as important as any piece of equipment in your camera bag. Consent begins with communication. Before a photo session takes place, both photographer and model should have a clear understanding of the project. What type of images will be created? What is the artistic purpose of the shoot? How will the images be used? Where might they be published? These questions should never be left unanswered. Informed consent means that all parties understand exactly what they are agreeing to. A model should never feel pressured, rushed, or uncertain about the nature of a project. Professional photographers create an environment where questions are welcomed and concerns are addressed openly. One of the most effective tools for maintaining clarity is a written agreement. A written agreement does not exist because people distrust one another. It exists because clear documentation protects everyone involved and reduces the possibility of misunderstandings. A written agreement typically outlines important details such as the date and location of the session, the responsibilities of each party, image usage rights, compensation if applicable, and any specific limitations or restrictions agreed upon in advance. For example, a model may agree to the creation of fine art images for a photographer's portfolio but may not consent to commercial advertising use. Another model may permit online publication but not printed distribution. Every situation is different, which is why assumptions should never replace written clarity. One common misunderstanding is the belief that consent is permanent. In reality, consent is an ongoing process. Even after a session begins, communication should continue. If a model becomes uncomfortable with a particular pose, concept, or direction, that concern should be respected immediately. Professional photographers understand that consent is dynamic rather than static. Trust grows when people know that their boundaries will be respected throughout the creative process. Written agreements also help define expectations regarding image editing and publication. In today's digital world, photographs can travel quickly across websites, social media platforms, and publications. Models deserve to know where their images may appear and how they may be presented. Another important consideration is privacy. Some models prefer to use only their first name or a professional alias. Others may wish to keep certain personal information confidential. Respecting these preferences demonstrates professionalism and strengthens trust. Clear agreements can also benefit photographers. They help establish ownership rights, usage permissions, and responsibilities, reducing confusion long after a project has been completed. Good documentation protects creative work while preserving positive professional relationships. Perhaps most importantly, written agreements create confidence. When expectations are clearly defined, both photographer and model can focus on creativity rather than uncertainty. The conversation shifts away from potential misunderstandings and toward artistic collaboration. Fine art nude photography requires a high level of professionalism because it often involves vulnerability and trust. Strong ethical practices are not obstacles to creativity. They are the framework that allows creativity to flourish safely and respectfully. Many of the most successful photographers build long-term relationships with models because they consistently demonstrate honesty, transparency, and respect. Clear communication and written agreements are essential parts of that process. At its heart, consent is about recognizing the dignity and autonomy of every individual involved in the creative process. It acknowledges that photography is not something done to a person. It is something created together through mutual understanding and shared purpose. The best photographs emerge when everyone involved feels respected, informed, and confident about the work being created. And that confidence begins with clear consent and thoughtful communication.